What's good, YouTube? It's your boy DJ LiftOFF with the JP Way, and you don't want to miss this flight. Today, we will be going over a very simple scratch pattern that I personally put together to help you enhance your DJing scratching ability simply by practicing how to change speeds. Changing speeds at the drop of a dime is a very good skill to have for a DJ, especially when you are scratching. You don't want to get into the habit of kind of going like That's fine and dandy to practice, but after a while, your audience is going to get tired of hearing it. They're going to want to hear a little bit of versatility. They're going to want to hear some syncopation. They're going to want to hear some change of speed. That's why I put this scratch pattern together today. I'll also show you a few different ways you can practice changing speeds as well. But without further ado, let's get to the video. All right, DJs, like always, go ahead and check the link in the description to download this particular scratch sentence that I'll be using for this tutorial. Just so you can use the exact same thing that I'm actually using. Go ahead, download that, load it up on your deck, and then get to this first sound right here. Okay, so first I'm gonna go ahead and do it in real time, then I'll slow it down a little bit, then we'll go ahead and break down the entire scratch pattern. Then following that, I'll show you a few different scratch patterns that you can do just to also enhance your speed when scratching. So here we go. So all of this is really intended to help you with the control of your hand when you're going back and forward, going from fast to slow, pulling back fast, then going right back into a scratch pattern. So we'll start off by breaking this down into basically two different halves. The first half is essentially the exact same as the second half. It just ends a little bit differently. And within those two different halves, you have two different parts. So the first part of the first half sounds just like this. So basically what you have is a chirp scratch to start out with. I'll also post a link right up here in the right hand corner to my chirp / transformer beginner scratch tutorial. So definitely go check that out if you haven't done the chirp scratch before. I will quickly go over it again in this video. So this is going to start with the chirp scratch. All you're going to do is start with your crossfader open, push the record forward a little bit. We're going to cut that sound. So just like this. Push the record forward a little bit. As you push it, you're cutting it. That's essentially a chirp. And then as you pull the record back, you're going to open that crossfader back up. So forward and cut, pull the record back and open the crossfader up. That is a chirp scratch. So we're going to start with a chirp scratch. Once you do that, you're going to push the record forward not as slowly as you can, but push it forward a little bit slowly. Once you get about here, you're going to pull the record back fast. So that'll complete part one. Again, in fast and slow time. And then in slow time. Now we're going to go to part two of the first half. So first, I'll show you part one and part two put together. Then we'll break down part two. So essentially the only difference between the first part and the second part is how long you're going to hold the scratch or how long you're going to go forward with the slow scratch before you pull it back. On the second part, you're going to go a little bit farther before you pull that record back. So again, part two sounds like this. Again, the only difference is when you're going forward a little bit longer than the first part. If I say it out loud in my head, as I tell you guys all the time, know the scratch in your head before you actually do it. So if I'm repeating parts one and parts two in my head, it's going to sound like this. So if you just hear that again, you can point out where when I'm doing the that part is longer in the second part. So listen one more time. Again, you hear that longer Okay, so that's part 1 and 2. And then before we go into the second half, which is pretty much the exact same as the first half, the only difference between the first and second half is the ending. So once you've done that, you're pretty much gonna repeat that for the second half, but at the end of the second half, instead of having this quick chirp like this, you're just gonna have a normal speed chirp to go back into the first half. So you could pretty much practice the first half, second half, return to the first half, second half, return to the first half, okay? So the second half, again, is gonna be completely the same as the first half. The ending is just a little bit different. So this will be the second half. And again, you see that only difference was in the first half at the end we went, but at the end of the second half, we're just gonna do a normal speed chirp. So this will make more sense when I put both of them together. So this is the first half and second half, both put together. And then at the end of that second half, you can go right back into the first half. So now I'll do first half, second half, second half, just so you can see how you can continuously go back and forth to practice this changing of speeds. So hopefully you have that rhythm down. Again, that was first half, second half, first half, second half. Definitely a great way to not only enhance your speed, but just to really practice the movement of your hand going from fast and slow. So now I'm gonna show you a few very short patterns that you can also practice that will also help you enhance your speed. So the first one is just gonna be a fast to slow chirp. It'll sound just like this. As you can hear that, I'm just going And if it's hard to practice that with the chirp scratch, you can definitely do this as a baby scratch as well. It'll sound just like this. And as you can see, that really will get hard as you get faster. A great way to practice your hand control and the speed. Another short scratch pattern that you can do as a chirp scratch or a baby scratch, depending on your level, sounds just like this. So this actually plays on the scratch pattern that I did earlier. This is a really, really good thing to practice because as you're moving fast in the first, either your chirp or baby scratch, it really helps to do that scratch a little bit fast and then go into something slow. So there are two different short patterns you can do to really practice your speed, as well as a full scratch pattern as well. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do this scratch pattern over a song, just so you can hear the scratch pattern in actual real time. I'll also do it slow, but just so you can hear it over a song, which you can also practice as well. You can practice without a song or with a song. Do it at your leisure. All right, my DJs, I hope y'all enjoyed that scratch tutorial. Just a little quick something to show you how you can change your speeds. Something really, really good to practice. Repetition, repetition, practice, 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 as I always say. Do not get discouraged, stay confident. No matter how long it takes you to get it, just keep practicing, keep chugging away at it. Eventually you will get it. I promise you, eventually you'll get it. So go ahead and practice that up. And until next time, I definitely have some more videos to come. So if you like this video, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and yeah, stay tuned because I got some more stuff coming. And y'all don't want to miss these flights. I promise y'all don't. I'm about this thing. I'm holding the camera. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do it anyway.